So probably one of the biggest, and I guess we can even say one of the most talked about things in gaming nowadays, especially racing games, and I feel like a lot of other things can fall into this, but the overall progression is something a lot of people talk about, guys. Now, before you say anything, I have around 50 something hours in Forza Horizon 6. I also have the gold wristband. I've been playing a good amount. I've barely done anything on the discovery side of it. I wanted to throw that out there. I do obviously have all the mascots. I have all the bonus boards and all that stuff. But I have not done any of the stories, any of the toge races. I haven't done the tofu delivery thing. I haven't done any of that stuff. And I am still messing around on the map trying to find different things, making sure I have all of the skills done, like the speed traps and the jumps and all that good stuff. And I gotta admit, the progression in Forza Horizon 6 is way better than I expected it to be. And I kind of feel like a lot of players might end up feeling a fairly similar way to I am. Because look, we all do know in Forza Horizon 5, the game wasn't very structured. You kind of jump in, you do races in whatever car you want. You go through it, and that's kind of it. And then afterwards, like, alright, well, there's not really a structure here. I feel like in Forza Horizon 6, they really did take an approach to the older Forzas where they did end up making it so it was like FH1 to where you have to drive these certain cars in this part to get a better wristband. Then you could drive the better cars. I think that's a pretty dope system, but on top of that, though, they also added it to where you can also do these skills on the side of it, go grab the XP boards. You could buy certain cars around the map that can help you in those events if you want to. This is something I loved, and I don't know about y'all, but I spent a little bit of too much of my money finding cars around the map and purposely buying them for no reason whatsoever, just because I wanted to. Some cars are 50, some were 200,000. I saw them, I wanted them. And a quick note on that, by the way, I'm about 95% sure, depending on what race you guys are doing, sometimes cars you might actually need are nearby to those races that you could buy to use those said vehicles in the events that you're looking at. I think that's also a pretty dope thing. You might end up needing maybe a retro supercar or something, and there's a Porsche nearby that you actually can buy for fairly cheap to compete in that race. I think that's a pretty dope system. Then obviously there's other cars that spawn in the pool, some rare ones. Apparently somebody said the F5's a car you can find somewhere. I did end up finding the Mission R. I didn't buy it because I didn't want to spend over 1.5 million on it, but it was there. So I think that's a pretty cool thing they added into the entire progression system, to where you could find some of these cars a different way instead of going into the auto show or instead of going into the auction house to find them. So I do kind of like that. And plus, the cars can also help you in the game itself, which is kind of dope there. I gotta admit, I think the overall structure of how this game is will end up surprising a lot of players. We all do know the game is obviously really new. It just launched on Tuesday, so it is not an old game whatsoever, bro. A lot of people are jumping on here. They might end up being like, man, I hope this game ain't like FH5. I want some progression. And to be real, I think a lot of players might genuinely be pretty amazed on how this is set up. I think it's pretty awesome. You have a bunch of challenges and different things that you can get loads of cars from, which I find really fun. People will always argue that, oh my goodness, the game is giving me so many cars. I don't want 75 cars. Well, the thing is, you end up getting those cars regardless by getting rewarded for doing a lot of the races or finding the bonus boards, doing different things, discovering. You will get rewarded some cars, and the funny part is, a lot of the cars you might end up getting might be like an RX-7 or an Aerial Nomad or something. But what's cool, though, is those cars can also be used to help you progress through the story and do those races, or you can upgrade them and do the toge races, and I'm sure you guys probably see where I am getting at. But I gotta admit, though, for someone who has been playing this game a good amount, I played a lot of FH5. I have like almost 550 hours in the game. It probably would have been a lot more if I didn't go back in and play every old Forza game, putting 50 to 70 hours on all of those before I obviously played FH6 here. So I can really see how, Forza kind of started, what did this, system there, how is the progression in this one, all that good stuff. And I gotta genuinely say, after playing every single game, FH6, guys, has a really solid design to it. I'm going to be 100% real with y'all. I think this game's overall structure and how they did it is really good. And that's the thing. I know a lot of people talk about Wheelspins. Okay. Everybody talks about Wheelspins, bro. I understand it. But here's the thing. You don't have to open them. I'm actually planning a video, guys. Stay tuned. There's a few. The first one, I played through this entire game literally with no wheel spins, okay? I've opened 3 total. One of them was an accident. The other 2 you pretty much have to open as the prologue thing. I have not opened a single wheel spin besides that, and I'm playing through the game. I'm like Prestige 1 level 10 or something right now, so I've, done a lot of the races, went around, find the mascots, getting a bunch of different cars. I have not opened any super wheel spins or regular wheel spins. The other video I wanted to do is also about the wheel spins, and that one is basically me going over what I got from over 120 plus total wheel spins and super ones. So do stay tuned for that. It's actually kind of crazy because a lot of people talk about how that ruins progression, and I went to myself and went, you know what, Blocked? Let's not open any, bro. Let's just play through the game and see how everything flows with me making money. The cool part is you'll get money from a lot of the challenges that you do in the game, aka, again, in the Discovery or the Horizon Festival side, races, different challenges. You will get a lot of cars unlocked from that side, doing the road races, all that good stuff. And what's also really cool about this is I did notice throughout the challenges in this game, you'll also end up getting money bonuses and different things, which people are like, don't throw money at me. Well, a lot of the racing games tend to do that, bro, and a lot of them have to help you somewhere, because I'm going to keep it real with y'all right now 100%. Y'all know me pretty well. I've done a lot of these videos on these games giving you my real honest opinion. I'm going to say this. I don't want to grind 4.5 hours for a single car, bro. Okay, I said it. I don't want to sit there and grind one race for 3 or 4 hours to buy a supercar, because to be real, a lot of people talk about how if you're grinding that much, it'll feel amazing when you get it. Well, you know what? I think everyone might agree with this. It might feel kind of cool, but I guarantee there's another side of you that went, man, did I really just grind all of that for this? Because I kind of asked myself that. I don't want to get on something like Test Drive and, oh, the game actually has a structure of progression. No, it does not, bro. If you are grinding 6 hours or 3 or 4 hours one race because none of the other races in the game mean anything, how is that fun, bro? Is that really a structure? Is that what a grind should feel like? Just grinding one race for 15 hours so you can buy some cars? That ain't fun, bro. And you'll also completely ruin the game for yourself. And there's another game I wanted to talk about on the side of progression, or the entire side of doing something that long of a period of time where you might end up getting it and going, man, why did I just do that? Or I kind of wish this was a little bit easier. Now, that's the side of the wheel spin video I will talk about, where I really do think having the wheel spins is honestly a good thing. And as I have seen everywhere, they really have dialed them down a bit to where a lot of the regular wheel spins might give you like 10K, 15K, 50,000. You might get a car here and there. And obviously a lot of players are hunting for those Forza Edition cars, which we obviously all do want. But they're kind of RNG based, so you might get one, you might not. You got to have the RNG on your side there. But what I was saying with that, though, on the side of grinding for 2 or 3 hours on 2 or 3 races in the entire game, because no other race means anything with how they structured it, I did end up playing the Hunter Call of the Wild guys. Personally, one of my favorite games. I've played most of the DLC maps. I really do enjoy it. But that game does end up having great ones. I will show you a small clip of this in the background. I harvested over 3,000 deer to get that, over 100 hours. This was like 6 months ago, by the way. And I did that, and I finally got the deer, and I'm like, man, that took so dang long. Obviously RNG based, because if you are doing races in that, it's not RNG based in a game. You know what I'm saying? You do 100 races, you get the money, you buy the car. But I really do think having that insane grind for something that's super uncertain in a game, or knowing that you have to grind 300 something races to buy a couple of cars, to be honest, dude, I don't think a lot of players would find that very fun, if I'm being real. Jumping on Forza Horizon 6, I genuinely enjoy how I could go around the map and find a bunch of cars that are 50, 60. Obviously, there's $1,000,000 cars out there as well, but you could buy these cars to help you progress through the main racing part of the story. And then there's the other side of the toge races, tofu, there's the street races. There is a lot of stuff to do there, man. And on top of that, there's also these stories, which all of those things will also reward you with money and cars on top of it. So at least you're really getting something for the time that you're putting into the game. I don't think anybody wants to sit there for 4 or 5 hours, because that's the progression we want. You know what I'm saying? I played all the way through Forza Horizon 1, by the way, beat the entire game. And yes, the game had a very good structure to it. I do like how it gave you cars pretty much every few races you get a car. All the showcase events, like FH6, gave you cars that could help you progress even more. It was honestly pretty dope. Although I was kind of laughing because the second barn find I got in the game was a Bugatti. That kind of threw me for a loop. But I couldn't use the car unless I used the other cars on the main races. You know, kind of how this game is structured. You know, it's kind of similar in that aspect of how you get a car, but you can't use it on the main races because the car is too quick. You know what I'm saying? And then obviously we have all the barn finds. All those cars can help you in things. We have the treasure cars that can help you in different races and mix up the gameplay. I do feel like the overall structure of FH6, once people really start to play this game, They will probably really enjoy this, dude. I really do believe that because it's kind of like a hybrid of every single Forza game in a way mixed into it. And I can already tell y'all from what I have seen, from the things I have noticed, the wheel spins, you don't get them nearly as often, okay? You don't get them nearly as often as you did before from leveling up and all that stuff. You don't get super wheel spins nearly as quick as you did in FH5. That is something I also noticed. So they did power those down a bit, give you less of kind of rewards, I would say, in them. Because I would say getting $10,000 from one, that's going to do a lot, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's an upgrade on a car, maybe, depending on what you want. So I think it's really the way that you look at this. But after playing FH6 for a while, I think this really might be one of the better designed progression systems we've seen in a straight minute. And I'm willing to say I think a lot of players will really enjoy the way this is structured. Whether you want to go Discover Japan and do that side, I talked about the campaign thing. I'll leave a tag on the screen for that, on how they structure that to where you could do the Horizon side or the Discover Japan side, and you could pretty much jump into either one or do both, progressing the way that you kind of want to, getting cars you want, finding cars around the map, doing other races, doing those challenges for a car that you might want that's tied to a challenge, and with that you get 200k, bro. I mean, that's a pretty dang solid system to me, and it kind of makes me go, what do y'all really want in progression? Do you guys want to go back to like 2005 era where you drive like one car in Need for Speed the entire time, you add like an upgrade to it? Don't get me wrong, that's a cool system, but I think a lot of players also like having some type of variety on going up through that progression ladder in these games. And I do think FH6 kind of hits that in a really good way. It's better than any other modern racing game in the last 5+ years on how they structured the system. I think a lot of people would agree with that. And I bet once people start playing and they see how it's kind of like open-minded type of thing and your playstyle can be different, it will probably attract even more players. Like, yes, can you collect a lot of vehicles? Of course, if you focus on it, you can also go grind skill points and get cars and wheel spins and different things from those on top of everything else. Or you could do what I did and take things slower. Don't open your wheel spins. Don't do all that stuff with the cars and get the wheel spins from those. Kind of just play the game, do the races, do the challenges, get the cars and money, and see where you're at. And I figured I'd share that with you guys. I'm approaching around almost $6 million, okay? I'm getting up there. And again, I'm like prestige level like 10 or something like that. So I've played a good amount. I have a good amount of cars. I think I have around 140. And by the way, I'm still missing 6 barn finds because I have not progressed at all on the discovery side of it. So there for me is easily hundreds of hours of stuff to do in this game. And what's kind of wild is that's not even including the PvP side of it. Do let me know what y'all think about the progression in Forza Horizon 6. To be honest, I'm really enjoying it. And I'm willing to bet a lot of people will probably think extremely similar to I am once they finally dive in or they have a good amount of time played, because they will also notice this as well.